The South African Basic Education Department has announced the results of the 2022 National Senior Certificate Examinations with an overall improvement in the pass mark from 76.4% in 2021 to 80.1%. The results are an important milestone in academic careers as these marks are used for entry to higher education facilities.
According to the Education Department, the Matric class of 2022 has the largest cohort of candidates to date, with over 900,000 pupils registering to write their final Matric exams. Throughout their final exams, pupils have had to deal with disruptive power cuts, community protests, and in some areas, allegations of cheating. Joining us now to discuss this further is an educational psychologist from the University of Pretoria, Professor Kobus Mari. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, ma'am, and thank you for
having me.
Good morning.
Let's talk about the 80% pass mark. It's quite a milestone for the country, particularly with some of the challenges that pupils have faced in recent years, like COVID, the power cuts, which of course are leading to the protests happening in South Africa at the moment. What do you think has led to this increase?
Ma'am, just let's shed some perspective on the matter. 80+% pass rate, very good. I've already congratulated everybody. I wish everybody all the best. I hope the grade 12s and all the officials hope they're celebrating. But, this is not the real picture. From 1.1 million people that enrolled in the year of our Lord 2010, it seems like only between 40 and 50% have actually really passed. So hundreds of thousands of people dropped out. Why? There are accusations of culling, in other words, removing people, asking them not to write grade 12 exam, rather to repeat grade 11 or do what. So all in all, this picture looks good. But you know what? By and large, what we're seeing is what we already know. Middle class, upper class students, affluent schools, they're achieving wonderful outcomes. There are major challenges still in the education system. We have to be honest with ourselves.
Well, that's at least, even if you've mentioned that there's challenges, it's still something to celebrate, the high pass mark. But one recurring issue is the question of the quality of the pass mark, with some in the education sector saying that the pass mark should be increased, from 30%. Do you think this is a valid concern?
So let's just define our terms carefully. It's completely untrue that we have a 30% pass mark. That's really not true. For instance, for university entrance, one needs to pass one's home language with an average of at least 40%. Then you need to pass 4 subjects with a mark of 50%. And so you see, if the other subject, one more subject has to be passed, etc. The second language at 30%. So it's very clear that the pass mark is really not 30%. But you're absolutely right. There are, again, major challenges facing us. I've been a university lecturer for 35, 36 years. I can tell you that throughput rates at university and tertiary training institutions is worrying. You can read some of the articles that I've appeared. It's very worrying. Furthermore, unemployment rates in South Africa are spiraling out of control, and everybody knows that. So my question is, yes, 80% plus looks good on paper. How employable are these guys? How well prepared are they for tertiary studies? I am not sure that they're remotely near where we want them to be.
Let's talk about, you've shared with us your concern as to how employable these people are. The educational system was severely impacted by COVID-19 in 2020 and 2021. 2022, we don't know if there was any recovery. Interestingly, we're talking about a new virus, a new mutation of the Omicron virus to XBB 1.5 in 2023. How would you rate the education sector in South Africa at the moment, despite all these challenges? And what can be done to improve literacy levels in South Africa?
Man, the big thing here is, yes, of course, there were major changes this year, simply because COVID-19 regulations fell by the wayside. People could freely attend class. There were no instances of classes having to be repeated, etc., etc. Much fewer instances of people taking ill, etc. So understandably, we saw a huge jump, rather huge jump from last year to this year. So in response to your question, what needs to be done? I'll name a few things. Number one, we need a systematic survey, investigation into the qualifications of teachers. We need smaller sized classes. We need to establish centers, especially in townships, rural areas, where there are EEL centers, where there are centers with laptops, etc., libraries, where people can go to freely, where they get monitored, where they get food, where there are sanitary facilities, etc. Much can be done. These things have to be done. So we need to find out from primary school onward, who are the people that are actually teaching our children? How well are they qualified? And not for a second am I suggesting that they're not qualified. I just think we need and fully. And then I think we need to bring many more teachers into the system.
Professor, thank you very much for your time with us this morning. So much needs to be done, and we will keep following up with conversations in South Africa and how the education sector can be improved and maximized. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.